Welcome to today's video, where we dive into the world of cinema to bring you the top 10 worst movies of 2024. While film is an art form meant to entertain and inspire, sometimes it misses the mark in the most spectacular ways. Whether it's poor writing, lackluster performances, or baffling direction, these films just couldn't live up to expectations. So, grab some popcorn and get ready for a cringe-worthy countdown of the 2024's most disappointing cinematic experiences. With that being said, the 10th worst movie of 2024 on our list is Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. While Ghostbusters Afterlife paid decent homage to the franchise, Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire falls flat, lacking the heart and charm of its predecessors. The plot revolves around an ancient artifact that unleashes a chilling force capable of freezing New York in fear. Both the original Ghostbusters and a new team must unite to stop this icy threat. However, the film focuses more on stuffing in callbacks and Easter eggs than delivering meaningful new content. The classic characters feel like exaggerated versions of themselves, while the new ones fail to impress, cluttering the story with dull and unfunny antics. It lacks the magic and rewatchability of earlier installments. And the 9th worst movie of 2024 on our list is Argylle. Matthew Vaughn, once a standout action director with hits like Kick-Ass, X-Men First Class, and Kingsman: The Secret Service, seems to have lost his edge with Argylle. The film lacks the thrilling action and charm that defined his earlier work, instead dragging with poor pacing and a weak twist. The story follows reclusive author Ellie Conway, Bryce Dallas Howard, whose spy novels about Argylle, Henry Cavill, eerily mirror real-life espionage, making her a target for spy organizations. Joined by Agent Aiden, Sam Rockwell, Ellie is thrust into a real spy adventure, uncovering the truth behind her fiction. And the 8th worst movie of 2024 on our list is Venom: The Last Dance. While Sony's attempts at a Spider-Man villain-centric universe have mostly fallen flat, the Venom films at least offered some passable fun. However, Venom: The Last Dance joins the ranks of misfires like Madam Webb and Morbius, bogged down by flaws that undermine the character's potential. The film struggles with lackluster military characters and a dull road trip subplot, leaving Eddie and Venom with little agency in their own story. Even when the film finally taps into fun moments, like Venom transforming into animals, it's brief before returning to its unremarkable pace. To make matters worse, the hyped-up villain spends the entire movie locked away in space jail, with the action carried by forgettable space monsters. And on number 7, we have RedOne. In the streaming era, many blockbusters feel designed more for background noise than for delivering a compelling experience, and RedOne exemplifies this trend. Attempting a Marvel-style holiday action movie, the story follows the North Pole's head of security teaming up with a notorious tracker to rescue Santa, who's been kidnapped just before Christmas. Despite the festive setup, the film falls short, with Dwayne Johnson and Chris Evans sharing little chemistry as co-leads. The action lacks excitement, the comedy fails to land, and the entire project feels more like a calculated corporate effort to boost Amazon's film portfolio than a heartfelt or rewatchable Christmas story. And on number 6, we have Joker: Folie à Deux. The original Joker film left a lasting impression as one of the most divisive yet unforgettable cinematic experiences in recent memory. Its shocking narrative and powerful reimagining of an iconic villain resonated with audiences, leading to massive success. However, the much-anticipated sequel, Joker: Folie à Deux, fails to live up to its predecessor's strengths, delivering a watered-down musical approach that lacks the bold chaos of the original. While the idea of a musical courtroom drama centered on Joker and Harley Quinn in the aftermath of the first film had immense potential, the execution falls flat. Instead of building on the original's compelling elements, the sequel rehashes old themes and fails to fully develop its new ones, resulting in a dull and uneventful experience. The film's inability to connect with audiences ultimately turned it into one of the year's most significant box office disappointments. And the fifth worst movie of 2024 on our list is Kraven the Hunter. Sony's streak of underwhelming villain origin stories continues with Kraven the Hunter, an R-rated take on the infamous big game hunter that lacks the grit and substance to deliver a compelling action thriller. The film follows Sergei Kravenov, Aaron Taylor Johnson, who rejects his gangster father to live in the wilderness, hunting down criminals. When the Rhino emerges as a new threat, Kraven must confront his toughest challenge yet. Plagued by stiff performances, awkward pacing, and some of the worst editing and ADR in recent memory, Kraven the Hunter fails to make its protagonist a formidable villain. Instead, it reduces him to yet another overly sympathetic anti-hero in Sony's Spider-Man universe. And the fourth worst movie of 2024 on our list is The Crow. The modern reboot of The Crow fails to capture the angsty, gothic essence that made the 90s original a cult classic, ultimately tarnishing its legacy. The story follows Eric and Shelley, lovers brutally murdered due to Shelley's troubled past. Revived by a mystical spirit, Eric gains the ability to heal from fatal wounds and embarks on a quest for vengeance. However, this version feels like a hollow rehash of the 1994 film, failing to innovate or adapt to modern standards. In a post-John Wick era, where tales of unstoppable revenge seekers thrive, The Crow stumbles, delivering neither the visceral action nor the emotional weight its premise promises. It's a disappointing misstep, cementing itself as one of the weakest R-rated superhero adaptations to date. And the third worst movie of 2024 is Harold and the Purple Crayon. Live-action adaptations of beloved family classics often struggle, but Harold and the Purple Crayon sets a new benchmark for mediocrity. The film reimagines Harold, Zachary Levi, as an adult stuck in his storybook world, waiting for his long-absent author. Deciding to take matters into his own hands, Harold ventures into the real world with his friends, only to face a culture shock and a villain intent on exploiting his magical purple crayon. This baffling adaptation feels unnecessary, given the property's decade-long dormancy, and strays so far from the original tale that it's barely recognizable. The whimsy and charm of the classic are lost in a sea of lackluster CGI, excessive product placement, and Levi's painfully awkward performance, making the film a forgettable misstep. And the second worst movie of 2024 is Madame Webb. While Venom: The Last Dance and Kraven the Hunter were disappointing entries in Sony's extended universe, Madame Webb stands out as the studio's crowning achievement in cinematic disasters. The film is a chaotic mess, with disjointed editing and stiff performances that make it the quintessential "so bad it's good" movie of 2024. Despite its attempts to convey messages about female empowerment and heroic destiny, the film's inept execution undermines any meaningful themes. Rather than feeling like a cohesive vision from a director, it appears hastily pieced together by executives trying to meet shareholder demands. Incredibly, its myriad flaws give it a bizarre charm, making it one of the most laughable blockbusters of the year. Madame Webb is bound to become a cult classic, rewatched for all the wrong reasons as one of the most memorable blockbuster misfires in recent memory. And the last worst movie of 2024 on our list is Borderlands. While Madame Webb may be a more poorly crafted film, its chaotic, absurdist energy at least makes for an entertaining watch, a quality sorely lacking in Borderlands. This adaptation of the popular sci-fi video game series misses the mark entirely, failing to capture the game's wild energy and instead offering unfunny humor and a clumsy storyline. From miscasting Kevin Hart as the tough soldier Roland to unnecessary plot twists about basic character details, it's clear the film lacks respect for its source material. With awful visual effects, a predictable plot, and some of the worst comedic writing, Borderlands is a nearly joyless experience with little to redeem it. So, which movie do you consider the worst of 2024? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.